Um, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time we started, and welcome to this joint TOPRA EMA meeting. It's good to see so many of you here, and in particular, it's good to see so many familiar faces, because I think this joint meeting between EMA and TOPRA has become a fixture, I hope, in your annual diary. So it's great to see so many of you here who were here last year and in previous years. This, though, is the first time we've held the meeting here at the EMA, and we thank EMA for giving us the opportunity to do that. We hope that by being here, there'll be greater opportunity for EMA staff themselves to be involved and to meet people who have come as delegates to the meeting, and hopefully they'll see the benefit of us holding the meeting here too. And I guess being here helps us to fulfill one of the aims that we have for this meeting, which is in effect to open up the doors of the EMA and everything that it does, so that we can get to understand what goes on here and who is doing it, often behind the scenes. And hopefully that will help those who work with the EMA to understand the processes and procedures and the people much better. And in particular, the final session today will focus on that aspect. And following that session, there will be a networking reception where I hope you'll be able to meet more people and to build some good business relationships for the future. Those of us that are old enough to remember when the EMA was established can't help but notice how much it's grown in size and scope over the years. And we can see that this will only continue when we look at the roadmap document and the From Vision to Reality document. And we can see the increasing focus of EMA on topics such as HTA, and also working with the new pharmacovigilance legislation. We all know that we can't underestimate the impact of that. And we'll be looking at all those aspects of the EMA's work over the next couple of days. And hopefully not only from a theoretical perspective, but from a very practical standpoint as well. Whenever I introduce a TOPRA meeting, I always say this, but I think it bears repetition, that the success of the next 2 days will depend on everybody in this room. Your participation, your questions, your comments are all important to making this meeting go well. So please take advantage of that opportunity and participate as fully as possible. Those of you who've been in this room before will know how it works, but for those who haven't, you should be sitting near enough to a microphone. If you want to ask a question, you'll need to press the red button to activate the microphone. Now, if you're not fortunate enough to be near a microphone, please raise your hand and wait for the chairman. And we do have a roving microphone for those people as well. I want to thank the TOPRA Working Party who's put this meeting together. I particularly would like to thank Brenton James, who's chaired the Working Party, and our colleagues in the EMA who've taken such an active part in the programme, Marie-Hélène, Agnes Saint-Ramon, Emma Cook, Xavier Luria-Oller, and Tony Humphreys. Thank you very much to them for the time you've put into planning the meeting. And if there's anything that I or any of the other TOPRA staff can do to help make this meeting work better for you, do let us know. The presentations are available on our website. And if you look in your delegate pack, you will see the link to the website where you can pick the presentations up. I would ask you please to switch off your mobile phones. And also, if you could complete the feedback form for us during the day. It's really important to us that we get feedback from you on this meeting, not just for next year's meeting with the EMA, hopefully, but also for our future training programme. So we do value very much the feedback you can give us. So with those few domestic announcements and with my very warm welcome to you to the meeting, I'd now like to hand you over for the opening address to Professor Rasi. TOPRA was honoured to work with you in your capacity of head of the Italian agency at our symposium last month. And it really is a privilege to have you here this morning, opening our meeting as one of probably your first engagements as the new Executive Director. So I'll hand over to you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's a bizarre situation that less than 1 month ago I was at TOPRA in the position of head of Italian Medicine Agency. And now I'm opening here in this new position, in this room where I gave my first talk before the people of EMEA. And many of the things I will be telling today, I was telling to the EMEA people a couple of days ago. Well, in Rome, we addressed many items from a different perspective, different angle of vision. Now we are addressing basically identical problem from a different perspective. That's why I think TOPRA is a very important platform. It's a very important arena where we can meet with confidence that we can openly address the problem and tell what is our vision about that and debate possible solution. So thanks for coming here at EMEA with your organization. First, I want to comment on my first week at EMEA, since I think EMEA is at the center, is the nucleus of this system, and I think it's relevant that to make you aware of how good I think EMEA is. Of course, I knew EMEA since before. I was in the management board for 3.5 years, but watching the things by inside, of course, is different. And I was not surprised of what I found. I found a very solid and robust management. I found a wide range of expertise. And what is even more relevant, I found a very high level of commitment of any people at any level. And that make me very optimistic about the future, about the many challenges we will have to face in the future together. Some of one I will address them today. But I think it's important to tell you how much Europe can rely on the robustness and the commitment of EMEA. Of course, after 1 week, you all know the roadmap, the 2015 roadmap. You already addressed it, mentioned that. I'm not being reviewing, of course, the roadmap, and in 1 week, I will not say that I'm gonna make or propose major changes in the roadmap, even because the roadmap is solid, is alive, and I think it's a very valid way, and it is addressing the right things like transparency, like communication, like openness, conflict of interest, pharmacovigilance, implementation, and all the things you know. But beside the path signed in the roadmap, I can see that we will have to face constant changes in the environment outside EMEA, and this will imply a constant adaptation of EMEA to answer and to comply with the changes outside. About the many changes, one of the major changes is that beside what we've been used in the past to be concerned of how to allow new medicine to access the market. Now, beside this, we have to be aware that we have to be concerned of how to make patients have access to medicine. That's the new mandate that we have to take inside, which does not mean that we don't take care anymore of the novelty coming and how to bring in the market. But it's very likely that we have to take care of the second part. How that will be possible? That will be possible only we will be able to change and to add some skills to our actual skills. Of course, many of the new drugs are not chemical entity, or a chemical entity plus something, or are sequences of action, drugs, medicine, devices. Are we ready for this? I think we have all we need. We have to be ready to be together, to put all the sequence together. Beside that, there are a lot of different barriers and obstacles in making drugs access to the market, medicine access to the market, and patient access to the medicine. I presented a slide in Rome where I mentioned all this obstacle, this puzzle, the access to medicine. I mentioned that opposite perspective. You have public health versus private profit. Different assessment criteria, EMEA and local point of view. Different market access strategy in European country, depending on comparison with local rules and hurdles. Different market size. Different regional perspective, depending on budget constraint and healthcare organization attractiveness. So these many problems we will have to face. And these are a little bit beyond the strict mandate of EMEA, but EMEA cannot close the eyes and say, here and my mandate, I did the authorization, that's beyond me. Doesn't work like that. We need to be integrated in the network. One of the strengths of EMEA is the network, is the strict collaboration with the HMA, with the head of medical agency in Europe. That network allows us to drain all the expertise. In Europe, we have the best expert in the world. If we need new expertise for market access, for molecular medicine, for genetic, for whatever, we can rely on 27 national competent authorities providing virtually all the expertise we need. We just have to improve. We are doing a good work, but we have to improve our collaboration with the network, because the network has inside everything is needed for the system. We can go on for hours to be in details of what we need and what we can do, and possibly these 2 days you will address many of these problems. What I want to point out is that what we need now is just to understand how we can, in the next future, cope with this problem. I know that industry, one of the other major stakeholders of EMEA, what doesn't accept is uncertainty. We know that. To build the certainty of our decision and the certainty of what will happen after the authorization given by EMEA is one of the questions that is in this room. Possibly initial part of the answer can be in this room. That's why I thanks TOPRA, and I think TOPRA can have a relevant role in foster this outcome. Thank you.